Before we get this video started, I just want to say thank you to our patrons.
Yes, because you guys are awesome and thank you so much for your support.
All right, let's get the video started. I think the goal is to be able to remodel our garage while we're here. Day 2 of the garage renovation. Today's gonna be a fun one. Flooring is done. Next, the walls. So we are going to do wainscoting. Boom. With some trim. And we're gonna figure this thing out because there's some difficulties that we're running into. It's an RV. These materials are made for a home. So that's a little different. But we are going to see if we can get the walls going and get the wainscoting on the walls and just turn this thing into a pretty... We also have exactly where this camera is sitting right now. We have something really cool that's going to be happening here. We are, spoiler alert, getting rid of our washer and dryer. We don't really use it a whole lot. So while it's really nice to have it in the RV, it's not a necessity for us. It may be for you, but it's not for us. So we are going to be getting rid of our washer and dryer and building something in its place. So more to come. So what I'm doing right now is figuring out where that hole is going to be in my paneling so that I can cut it out, and I'm going to move this outlet just out onto the top of the paneling. Getting there. I think we're about maybe 2/3 way done with the wainscoting and trim. We ran into a few problems. One being the wall on the back side of the patio, super crooked. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It is super crooked, and it was a pain to try to trim out. But I think we're getting to a good spot. Persistence. And then all I have left is this back wall over this way, and one little piece over in the corner. I've been saving some of the cuts, and then I got to trim the door out, and then just the regular molding. And we got to start the cabinetry. So still a long ways to go in this bedroom renovation, but it is going to be awesome when we're done. It is going to feel so cozy back here. So we're pretty excited about that. I will say is that I was kind of gluing the back of, I was putting adhesive on the back of the paneling, and I stopped doing that. There's actually some wood trim in the walls that I was able to buckle down, or staple down on. We're using 1 inch 18 gauge brad nails, little baby finishing nails. And I've got the air compressor on about 45 to 50 psi so that it doesn't shoot through the outside of my rig. It is always good that if you're going to do this, test a piece of board outside before you stick it on your wall and use a nail gun. And make sure that the nail does not go through, because I had on 60 psi and the first time I went so always make sure you're testing the piece of wood and kind of dialing in that PSI before you try to do any renovations inside, because you don't want one of those things going through the outside of your rig. That would be horrible. One other note is the Happy Jack legs over here. I was going to go behind them, but the problem was the paneling's kind of thick, and so it made the legs kind of, they would have set out like this. Not that far, but it would have set out like that a little bit. And with that, as the bed comes down, the frame would have been trying to squeeze into like a wedge almost. So we decided to just go ahead and cut around them. So the easiest way that I have found is I take the bolts out of the wall that's holding the Happy Jack one leg at a time. Don't take them all out at once. One leg at a time, take the bolts out, put the paneling behind it, put it in its place, trace it out, cut it as much as I can with a rip saw, and then use the jigsaw to cut around the bottom piece. And so far on this side, I've been pretty successful. So I'm excited about that, and I don't have to worry about messing up my Happy Jack system. Of course, the paneling was like right at the height of where an outlet would have been, like halfway. And I just didn't want to trim like around it. So what we did is we went and got baseboard, 4-inch. This is like styrofoam plastic, super light. Put this down and then put the paneling on top. Instead of the paneling behind it, put this on top. Or put the paneling on top, and that made the paneling a little bit taller. Therefore, I didn't have to move any of my outlets. However, you do have to figure out, you know, where to cut and put them in the paneling. But I think that was a good move too. That was actually Cindy's idea, so pretty smart. Pretty smart lady. So some of you may be wondering, what's this gap right here by the door? Well, trying to think ahead a little bit, I left room to do trim up around the door. So that's where that will go. This is Closet Made. It's basically the cabinets of a closet, and we got it at Lowe's. It's almost the exact dimensions from the floor to the ceiling, and width-wise, 25 inches between those two doors is like 25 1/4. So we're thinking this is going to work out perfect. The cool thing with this is that it's not going to be a bunch of open shelves. They actually sell cabinet doors and drawers that go as inserts into this. So we're gonna solve a few problems that we've had with this rig. One being shoe storage, somewhere to put laundry, and then somewhere to charge the electronics. So we're gonna try to make this multifunctional against that wall, since we are getting rid of our washer and dryer. Okay, this is done and it's been dry fitted there. I ended up having to actually modify it a little bit. I had to cut off about 1 inch from the bottom so that it would fit in that area. But next we're going to add some shell or some cabinet doors, and we also have drawers. So we have 2 of these and 2 drawers that we're gonna add to this and figure out. We're gonna try to do 1 drawer as low as possible, and a drawer and a cabinet on this one, and then figure out what blank space we have left. And because Cindy wants to be able to do laundry, like a laundry pull-out basket right there. So that's what we are going to be figuring out now. All right, we are painting. Look, say hi, baby. Hi. She said hi. Anyways, we are painting the trim. So it's going to be like a light blue, gray, like blue gray stone. And then the top part is going to be like a lighter beige, like lighter than this wall is right now. Just to keep it light and airy in here. And then Cindy had a great idea. We're actually, we bought another one of those cabinets, and we are going to modify that one to be a dresser to fit under this window right here, so that all our cabinetry is the same. So went and picked that up, and we'll do that once we're finished painting, so that we're not working around that one too, because now we have an island an island in here that we have to work around. courtesy of me. Yeah,
You rushed it along.
I had to rush it. I was anxious. But anyways, all right, flooring, wainscoting, prepping walls for paint, cabinetry, and then we're done. Oh, and this, like this is behind the cabinet where I want to put it, so we want to move it so that it's sticking out. But I gotta.
There's plenty of wires.
There's plenty of wires, so I gotta mount it like this on the side of the cabinet, so that it's at the door when you first walk in. And then this plug, I have to move it up the wall because I want my charging station to be in this top cabinet for all of our stuff. So all of our electronics are going to be charged up there. It's a lot of work. It has been a lot of work while we work, like really work, and work on YouTube. So while we're vlogging for YouTube. We took those little cabinets down. That looks so much better. How dirty the wall is. But it left gaps in the trim on the ceiling. So now it's like, what do you do with the ceiling? It's remodeling an RV. It's like it just grows.
Well, I mean,
and grows and grows.
So it's no different than remodeling in the house, right? Like it didn't matter. Like this same thing would happen if it was in the house. Like once you take apart one thing, you find the other things that are wrong.
Right.
So, for instance, like we removed that cabinet, we knew that there was something in that corner, but we didn't know.
Wires.
So that's easy to cover.
Do you still have that little corner piece?
It's in. Well, I don't know what you did with it. It was in that little tray.
I would save it and paint it whatever color we do the walls.
And put it back up.
And just put it back up.
But it doesn't go. I don't think it goes all the way down to the bottom piece because the cabinet was there.
Yeah.
So it depends on what type of shelving we put.
We want to do like a little shelf, right? Mm-hmm. Like a plant shelf type thing up there.
So, anyways, or a game shelf or something like it's gonna have something up there.
Greenery will look good.
Anyways, but regardless, now it's a hole in the ceiling and a hole in the trim. So I don't think we're gonna be able to find that brown trim in the store.
Of course not.
Which means that we have to replace the trim all the way around.
All the trim. Awesome.
Now we can go try. Like I will try to find that trim.
Yep. That's all right. We'll do our best. Might as well just take the rest of that little trim down.
Yeah, I think this trim is the same as that trim. I just think that's brown and this is covered.
Yep.
So we could just take this and put it in that hole and then just paint all the trim.
True.
If it fits, like if it is the same one. And then we just have to replace the trim on this one wall, which
Right.
we have to anyways because there's gaps. Because it's not big enough. But
Yep.
that would be enough. If that's the same one, that's enough to do both walls.
So we have that weird little ledge right there because of our side patio. And that's where the cabinet was sitting on top of it. So I made a little box. Just a little box to go up there and hide it. The downside to renovating a room in an RV is as soon as something gets displaced,
Everything else gets displaced.
it's chaos. It's just utter chaos everywhere. Everywhere. This does not work for us. Like, we can't handle, like, we like open spaces and a place for everything that we own.
Right, so I'm gonna do that wall so that you can finish the cabinet because a lot of the stuff can go in that
In the cabinet, yes. I got to get some L brackets so that we can.
We have a couple of L brackets.
Sweet, so we can
Secure it.
fasten it to the wall. And then we got to purge. Like after we're done with all this, there's a lot of stuff we need to get rid of, especially in that bay. We're trying to get rid of weight. We've been pretty weight conscious, like as we go through this. All the trim and everything you see is the
It's PVC.
PVC. It's all super light. Yeah, it's super light, except for the wainscoting and The wainscoting was kind of heavy. It's not that bad, honestly.
The wainscoting was heavy, heavier than what we were going to use.
Yep, and then the flooring was,
And the flooring
was
is,
kind of heavy.
it's twice as thick as what I wanted to use, but they didn't have the color that I wanted in the thinner.
And then we got to get the cabinet in there. So, I mean, it's a garage. It's meant to hold like 2,000 pounds.
We're not over the weight of the garage, even after we get everything in there.
Nowhere near.
We will be over the weight of the garage.
And I got this bike rack coming so that the bikes can just stand up on their own in there, because we got rid of our tie downs. And I really don't want to mess our floor up. So I got this stand that goes for 4 bikes. It's going on the front and back tire. So they should actually stand up by themselves, and I'm going to figure out a way I can actually strap them down to it. And so the bed can come down and just hold everything in place. We have done a lot. This is in, it's not fastened in, but we actually had to move the switches right here and the temperature sensor. And then there was an outlet in this wall too. Got the pillows in it right now. Now there's an outlet inside the cabinet so that we can charge stuff. And then I think Cindy's going to be doing some window treatments at some point. But
not towels.
Not towels, so that we could have some privacy last night while we were trying to sleep and not feel like somebody was, you know,
Looking in on us.
creeping in on us. And then once we're done with all that, I have to build our dresser.
Yes.
Because the dresser actually is going to be this thing, but it's going to be modified and beside each other with 6 of these drawers right here. So we already bought that. We built a little shelf up here because we didn't know what to do with that weird space. So I built a little shelf that
It's not going to be blue.
it's not going to be blue. We thought it was going to be blue, and then we painted it and we're like, eh. So it's just going to be the same color as the wall. They kind of blend in, and you know, have a little shelf up there. But yeah, that's pretty much what we've done so far. I don't know, probably have a day and a half left of work. All right, so this project taking a little longer than we thought, but
Well, it's more tedious.
it's coming along. It's definitely coming along. Cindy is painting the walls. Unfortunately, I had to work this morning.
I have to work this afternoon.
She has to work this afternoon. I guess we'll be switching responsibilities at some point. But we turned the bed like this so that she could have like an area to walk on each side. But yeah, it's coming along. So we got to paint the walls, and I think that's about it, right? Like decorate.
The dresser.
Oh, the dresser. I got to put the dresser together, which is going to be interesting because I have to modify. It's another one of these, and so I'm going to be modifying it to become a dresser.
We have a piece of pine that is pre-conditioned for stain, sold at Lowe's. So it comes wrapped and everything so that nothing gets messed up on it. But I want it to be nice and smooth, so we were sanding it with 220, 420, 440.
440.
440 sandpaper.
Really fine sandpaper.
Really fine sandpaper to make it nice and smooth. And it's got pretty grains in it. And then we're going to clear it with satin clear polyurethane so that it will just bring out the natural colors. And this is going to be our new dresser top. Won't match anything else in the camper. But it's what I want, so it's okay.
And I am working on converting these things into a dresser. So we found out that doing 3 large wouldn't go underneath the little like emergency escape latch on the window. So they actually sell drawers that are about half the size, but still the same design, which is what we want, consistency. So it's going to be 1 short and then 2 longer ones, and then topped with that board. And it'll be 2 of these right beside each other to look like a dresser with that board on the top. So hopefully it turns out good. We're trying, we're modifying, buying something, and then you buy it, you open it, you look at the instructions, then you throw the instructions away and you make it into what you want. That's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna go with.
Right with this drawer, so I think it's 5 after that.
I want to show you something real quick. Baby, can you step to the side for just a minute? I don't always toot my own horn, but I turned that into that. Toot, toot. Look at that. So that middle cabinet which is a closet organizer, is now going to be a beautiful dresser. What baby wants, baby gets. And the best part about it is because we took the same kit and turned it into a dresser, it all matches.
Well, yeah, the doors match.
The doors match. No, the wood top doesn't, because well, you can't get a wood top in there anyways. But we're going to be doing some. Cindy wants a very like macrame feel for in here, so we got some stuff coming. Or we've got some stuff in the car that we're waiting to bring in. Tie all the wood together.